On Sunday night, a group of people from our camp went to remove a burned out truck that was in the middle of Backwater Bridge, where the police have created their line. You know, there no, you're not allowed to pass this imaginary line on the bridge. But they had tied this vehicle to the bridge and some cement barricades. They had done this, and they've been telling the local media that our people are the ones that are obstructing traffic on Highway 1806, and that we are causing an interference in emergency vehicles. And yes, that is correct as far as Morton County Police, North Dakota Police are concerned. They are the ones that put up this barricade, this man-made barricade. They created all these roadblocks, you know, literally roadblocks. And our people were tired of it. That is the main artery, like the road that goes from Standing Rock to Bismarck. And our people have utilized that road. It's about 30 miles north of Standing Rock, 35 miles. And the way we have to go now, it puts an extra 60, 70 miles on it. And so when our one of our friends got hit with one of these grenades on Saturday night, Sophia Walensky, she is in Hennepin County Medical Center in Minneapolis. And now because she was hit, it exploded as she was handing out water to people. And I was there. I took a video. I posted it. And so what her father says is that it took 6 to 8 hours, additional hours, to get her to Minnesota, because North Dakota is not a populated state that has big medical facilities. So they had to get her. I'm not sure if they drove her. It's about 8 hours. I think that they flew her over and went straight into surgery. And her mother did not find out until 8, 9 in the morning. And they flew here from New York City. She is from New York City. She's 21 years old, and there are, you know, graphic pictures out there, and she gave her family permission to show those pictures of her wound, of her injury.
You said a grenade. She was hit by a grenade?
Yes, and I'm not sure what kind of, you know, if it is, I've heard different names for it, like a concussion grenade or crowd control. But on the Today Show yesterday morning, they did a interview with Morton County, a lawyer or a spokesperson, and this individual said that they were only using the water cannons in response to the protesters making fires, building fires, and that is absolutely not true. I posted the videos for public to see that they are intentionally aiming at people, and they were laughing, and they were talking about Red Fawn Fallis, who's currently being incarcerated in Morton County, who is my cousin. They said she attempted to kill 2 police officers, but that is not true. And so I had I'm thinking it's a tear gas canister that was shot directly at my husband and me, but it broke into 3 trails. It looked like chemtrails, kind of, you know. It went off into the prairie, and they started little fires, and I have that on video. And then it's so surreal that, I mean, I see it on the news. I've seen it in Ferguson. I've seen it in North Carolina. I see it in Oakland. I see it on these documentaries, and I've never, ever imagined that it would be here and I would be on that line and witnessing what I did. They are terrorizing our people, and the media and the state is complicit in their lies and their manipulation of the coverage, and that is why it's so important for us to get real news, our real story out there, because you know what they did now is they shot the most precious thing to, and excuse me if this sounds racist, but the most precious thing that they have besides money is their white women. And they shot a white woman's arm off, 21 years old, from New York City. And now she is in surgery as we talk in Minneapolis, Minnesota, Sophia Walensky. So now that's causing them to step back and really look at, I do believe, honestly, tonight there are some police officers here in North Dakota, because they were doing it intentionally, I think that is causing them to step back, and maybe I'm giving them too much credit, but causing them to step back and look and see, oh my God, what did we do? Because they were aiming for the brown protester. They were aiming for the long-haired native protester, the one chanting or singing. They didn't. They hit a white woman, a young woman who was handing water out to the people who were injured. She was helping them, washing their eyes out, giving them water to drink. And that's so ironic that it happened this way, because that is the truth. And that's one story. One story. There was over 300 people injured that night. There was ambulances responding from South Dakota, because Standing Rock only has like 3 or 4 ambulances. And it was constant. And I seen it, and it looked like a scene out of a movie. And I can't process it. I mean, now
these water cannons look like Birmingham to me.
They are, and they weren't doing it to put out fires. They were intentionally aiming them at people, and people trying to pray. It was about 20 degrees that night. It was really cold, and I seen the shock in people, and maybe I even look like that. They tear gassed people so bad on the bridge, and as they shot the water, the bridge turned to ice. So people were slipping and falling, and my husband grabbed me back. And I was just so angry, like, how dare you? Like, this is our land. You use our name, Lakota. That means ally and friend. How dare you abuse our name? How dare you stand on our land and brutalize and terrorize our people? And that's the truth. And these old racists in North Dakota, they will say nonsense. They're violent, out-of-state agitators. You know what? They are not. It is the people from Standing Rock who led this fight, who stood up and said enough is enough. Right. Our tribal council, our chairman, they took a stand, and we put out a call for fellow warriors from across the world to join us. Yeah. They came because we requested it. So, no, we are not out-of-state agitators, and we're here in for the long haul. And like I said, we're never going to give up. We're never going to quit. And I think one of the reasons why we keep going is because Natives already have PTSD, that intergenerational trauma from what our ancestors went through. Yes. And we have a resiliency gene. I truly believe that, because our women are all at the front. In my camp, it's majority women and our children. And I just want to stress that, that Standing Rock is here. We're Sitting Bull's people. We're never going to give up. We defeated the United States at the Battle of Little Bighorn. We call it the Battle of Greasy Grass in 1876. It was our grandmothers and our grandfathers there. My grandmother went to Canada with Sitting Bull, and when they came back, they were in prison for 2 years, and then he was killed the next year. And so those are the stories that were taught down to us.
Right.
So,
Right.
this is not going to go away. We're not going to be quiet. We're not going to, sit down and take it. Like, if anything, this is reigniting and showing and teaching our youth. This is what we do. We have to stand up for our water, because ultimately the state of North Dakota and the media have turned it into a race war. And maybe there was already, just like the previous caller was saying, there was already that underlining tone there. But what this did was exacerbate that for them, because it's been a Band-Aid, slow healing of what their grandfathers did, the pioneers. They came and took the land and settled on it. And so now their children have to live with that guilt. Mm-hmm. And they say, oh, no, we didn't do that. We bought the land. And not true. It's because the government took the land and offered something illegal. It was not legal for them to take the land and sell it. Mm. That whole premise is false. There was no legal anything about it. And so North Dakota people a lot of North Dakota live with that shame. And they never acknowledge it. All they know is that they don't like Indians, they don't like Natives, they don't know why. But my grandpa said, you guys don't work. My grandpa said, you guys drink too much. My grandpa said, you guys get a monthly check. I wish that were true, because I could sure use some extra money, but I do not get a monthly check. And so now what this has brought up, this whole pipeline industry of the Bakken in North Dakota, it has ripped off that Band-Aid. And exposing everything, the human relations. And you know what? There are good people in North Dakota. There are. But we are the first nations. We were here. You can't just deny us and not acknowledge us and just think you can tread right through our land.
Right. No.
It's something that is historic, and people need to hear our story.